Right guys, so it's intermediate paper 2, June 2019. If you did the start of the foundation paper, the rest of the foundation paper I'm going to go through now. Okay, so going through the whole paper again, the best way to do this, either get your mock, if you're in my school, you get your mock back one day this week. Get your mock in front of you, go through it question by question and just fill in any corrections you need to make and try and work out why you went wrong. And then make a list on the front of your paper with the topics you probably need to go over again. Maybe make 2 or 3 and then go through those in detail so you get them, okay? That'll make the biggest improvements. Or if you want a blank copy of this paper, okay, you can either send me an email on the link in my Instagram. Okay, send me an email on there and I'll forward you a blank copy of any tier that you want. Or you can come and get one off me in school if you want a blank copy, and then you can go through it like that. Now, if you've got a blank copy, the best way to go through it, get one question in front of you. Question 1. Pause the video, do the question yourself as best you can, and then in a different colour pen, watch the video and fill in your corrections. Do that question by question, stop about halfway, take a break, and then do the rest of the paper like that. Okay, that's really quality revision. Doesn't matter if you're wrong because I'm here to go through it anyway, and then you get loads and loads out of it, okay? Right guys, so, because it's unit 2, that means we get a calculator on this one, okay? So what that means is, do not do anything in your head. Do everything you need to do on your calculator, okay? Now calculate each of the following. Because it's on a intermediate paper and it's paper 2, just do it all on the calculator. Just make sure you put exactly that into your calculator. It should look exactly the same. So you've got 4.8 squared plus square root 28.09. And however answer they give you, remember, you don't want it like that. You want to press the S to D button, 28.34. So I'm going to write that down. Question 1 done. Part 2 of, okay, 4/9 of 78.3. Okay, it's a calculator paper. Okay, so remember, of means times, really important. Of means times, so doing 4/9 of 78.3 is equal to, remember your fraction button is over here, okay? So if you want to do it, you want to do your fraction button button's by there. Fraction, 4, down, 9, press right, all times by 78.3. Gives me an answer, press S to D again, 34.8. That's 3 marks already, okay? That's almost 5%, okay? We're going well. 1,000 times the reciprocal of 8, okay? All they're testing you here is what this word means, reciprocal. Okay, so instead of doing 1,000 times this, reciprocal of 8 just means 1 divided by whatever number they're talking about. So reciprocal of 8 is just 1/8. Okay, use your calculator again. 1,000, oh, that's not 1,000. 1,000 times by fraction button 1 divided by 8 equals 125. Okay, that is 5 marks already. That's 6.25%, and we haven't actually done anything in our heads. All we've done is pressing buttons on a calculator. Last one, probably a similar thing. 437.6 to 2 significant figures. Okay, just a bit of rounding. So I got 437.6. Now 2 significant figures. With decimal points, obviously you're counting after the decimal point. If it was 1 decimal place, you count across 1. With significant figures, it's the same thing, but you start from here. You don't start from the decimal point. So start from here, I count across 1, 2, put my magic line in there. Look to the right of your magic line. If this number's 5 or more, we round that up by 1. If that number's 4 or less, we just chop it off and leave that as it is. This is 5 or more. So this number by here is going to go up by 1. The 4 at the beginning stays there. And now if we chop it off, we can't just have 44. Okay, 437.6 won't round to 44. So where we chop this off, we got to fill it in with a 0. Okay, so my answer is 440. Okay, to 2 significant figures. Okay, that's the whole first page done. Very straightforward. Don't drop marks on the first page. Right guys, page 2. Again, can you use a calculator? That's all they're asking you. Can you use a calculator? If you can, these are an easy 2 marks. Okay, 5 lots of F and 7 lots of G. Once you've worked out both of those out, you just got to add them together. So 5 lots of F. So 5 times, I know F is 3.8. And I've got 7 times minus 2.6. Okay, 5 times 3.8. 5 times 3.8 gives me 19. Okay, all on my calculator. Okay, I don't have to do any thinking. 7 times negative 2.6. Now be careful on this one. 7 times. Now this isn't the minus number. This is take away. This up by here in the bracket, that means negative. Okay, so don't use that by accident, okay, because you may get the wrong answer. 7 times negative 2.6. Oh, not 9. Not 9. 6. Is minus 18.2. And then again, because we're on a calculator paper, I just want you to add them together. 18.2 plus 19 gives me 0.8. Easy work, okay, easy 2 marks. Down by here, solve the following equation, give your answer to 1 decimal place. So, because they've said this 1 decimal place thing, I know they're probably not going to give it to us as a nice number. So my first thing, solving equations, okay, so I always write out whatever equation it is in my own handwriting, because I want it, it's a bit small by there and it might make it working out a little bit cramped. So, if I want x on its own to solve the equation, I've got to add 4 first to both sides. So I get 7x moves straight down, plus 4 minus 4 makes nothing. 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay, 7x is 16. Now, they've told us it's not going to be a nice number, so if I divide by 7 to both sides to get x on its own, I get x equals 16 divided by 7 gives me 2.28574, all on my calculator. Okay, that's not a nice number. I want to round it to 1 decimal place, so they've put in a bit of rounding in this. Round it to 1 decimal place, I count across 1 for my decimal point, draw my magic line in. This number by here is 5 or more, so this number by here has got to go up by 1. So my answer is going to be 2.3. Okay, easy question. Okay, your first 2 questions, I think it's, I don't know how many marks, it's about 11 or 12, 11 marks, is about 13%, okay, which is loads of your paper. Remember, 43%-ish is for a C. Okay, so it's a big chunk. Question 3, okay. Another easy question. Most of this is just conversions, understanding time and lots of conversions, okay. Calculate the longest time period from the list below. So they've all, essentially, if you to convert them, they've all essentially got to be the same. Okay, I'm going to put them all in hours. This first one, 180 minutes. Now, if I want to put that in hours, I know there's 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm going to divide that by 60. That's 3 hours. I'm doing it on my calculator. I know most of the time you won't have to. Okay, I do it on the calculator because you shouldn't have to think. You shouldn't have to think in this exam. Okay, so 4.5 hours. That means 4.5. Half an hour. 0.5 times 60 is 30. So that's 4 hours, 30 mins. This one, 4 hours 45. That's already done for us. 4.25 hours. I know a quarter of an hour, just common sense, is 15 minutes. But if you want to work it out, so 0.25 times by 60 is 15. So 4 hours, 15 minutes. That's easy. And the last one, a sixth of a day. Remember, of means time, so I'm going to do a sixth of a day is 24 hours. So it's a sixth of 24 is 4 hours. Okay, so looking at this, which is the longest time period? So longest, you may want to underline that. Longest one is this one. Okay, circulate the longest distance from the list given below. Now, I'd say put them all into kilometers if you want, but there are some obvious ones that we can cross off straight away. Now, this is 2 kilometers and 70 meters. That's 250 meters, so we know that's much smaller, so that can go straight away. This one, if I put it in centimeters, you chop off 1 0. If I want to put it into kilometers, I chop off 3 zeros. So that's 30. That's 30. If I want to put it in meters, sorry, chop off 2 zeros. So that's 30 meters. So that's way too small. 2 kilometers and 70 meters. Okay, we're going to keep that. 4,000 centimeters. If I want to put it in meters, I chop off 2 zeros. That's 40 meters now. And if I want to put it in kilometers, okay, 40 meters is way too small, so I'm just going to get rid of that. My last 2 are these. Now, 0.4 of a kilometer. I know a kilometer is 1,000 meters. Times by 0.4 gives me 400. So that's 2 kilometers and 400 meters left over. So I've got 2 kilometers and 70, 2 kilometers and 400. So this one on the end is my longest distance. Circle true or false for each statement given below. Now, all of these are conversions you kind of need to know in intermediate, okay? They may not give you them all, but you kind of just need to know them. Kilometers and miles. 5 miles is 8 kilometers. 1 kilogram is less, so kilograms are pounds. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. It says libs, but that means pounds. 1 litre is less, 1 litre and 1 pint, so 1 litre is 2 pints. And litres to centimetres cubed, 1 millilitre is 1 centimetre cubed. Now these are the ones they all expect you to know, okay? If you don't remember them all, that's okay, but they're the ones they expect you to know. It'll always be worth a small amount of marks, but it is worth knowing them. So, 7 kilometres is less than 5 miles. Okay, 7 kilometres, 5 miles. 7 kilometres is less than 5 miles, yes, because 8 kilometres is 5 miles, so that's true. 7 kilometres is less than 5 miles. 1 kilogram is less than 2 pounds. No, because 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, so 1 kilogram is greater, so that's false. 1 litre is less than 1 pint. 1 litre is, if you think of milk, 1 litre is the big one, a pint is the little one, so 1 litre is not less than 1 pint, so that's false. And 8 litres is less than 900 centimetres cubed. Okay, that's also false, because 8 litres is quite a big amount. It would be 8,000 centimetres cubed if we use the conversion at the bottom. So, moving on. Next page. Okay, so we've done the first 3. Okay, they're quite straightforward. Again, number 4, a very straightforward question. They're kind of just trying to throw you off with the words. All you need to know for this, okay, is area and perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, so capture makes the following statement. If you double the length of each side of a rectangle, you will double its perimeter and also double its area. Is capturing correct? Show clearly. Using it, give an example to show you come to your decision. So 5 marks, very straightforward. Okay, so I'm going to call it shape A. You can call it whatever you like, and shape B. Okay, shape A, a rectangle. I'm going to have a side 2 centimeters and a side 4 centimeters. And it says on shape B, capturing and saying, if you double them, okay, so that'd be 8 centimeters and 4 centimeters. The perimeter and area also double, okay? So for the first one, if I go for Catherine's shape A, I'm going to do area is length times width equals 4 times 2, which gives me 8 centimeters squared. Okay, and then perimeter is just add all the sides. So it's 4 plus 2 plus 4 plus 2, which gives me 12 centimeters. Remember, perimeter is a length, so it's just centimeters. Area is you can put it in squared. Okay, so centimeters squared. Next one, so area for shape B is 8 times 4, which is 32 centimeters squared. Again, I did that in my head, I shouldn't have. Always do it on your calculator. So 8 times 4 gives me 32. Always do it on your calculator. Perimeter is 8 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. I'm going to do that on my calculator. It gives me 24. Okay, looking at this now. She reckons if you double the lengths, which I've done, the perimeter doubles, it does, and the area also doubles. The area doesn't, okay? The area clearly is times it by 4 in this case, so she's wrong. So always in a question, when it says use an example, show how do you come to a decision. When it says show clearly, always write a closing statement, okay? Catherine is wrong. The perimeter doubles. But the area does not. Okay, easy question, 5 marks. Okay, you shouldn't drop any there. They're asking you really basic maths. Okay, over here now. Okay, you're going to be assessed on the quality of your organisation, communication, and accuracy in writing. Okay, these questions are nice, but please don't get them wrong. Please just label clearly when you're doing stuff. So 18% of 256 is shared in the ratio 2 to 1. Okay, calculate the value of a larger share. Give your answers nearest 10p. So there's rounding, there's percentage of amount, and there's ratio. Okay, we'll do the percentage of amount first. 18% of 256 is the same as doing 18% times by 256 Okay, now there is a percentage button on your calculator. Okay, so if I do 18, press shift to the top, and if you press answer on the bottom, it'll give you a percentage sign. So you don't really need to convert anything to a decimal. 18% times by 256 is my number. It'll always give you in form like this. When I press S to D, so my 18% of my number in pounds is £46 and 8 pence. Okay, done that. Now, ratio, share, £46 and 8 pence in ratio 2 to 1. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I've written this out only because it's the QWC one, and I want to write as much as I can on the page in order for me to get those extra 2 marks. So the way I do ratio, okay, it's up to you how you do it. I like to draw a shape, so it's going 2 to 1. So I got 2 bags of money by here, and I got 1 bag of money over there. Okay, so the way I think of it, I got to split this between 3 bags of money, £46 and 8 pence between 3 different bags of money. So in order to do that, I'm going to do £46 and 8 pence divided by 3 gives me £15 and 36 pence. Okay, so that's going to go in each of my bags. The reason I draw it as a picture, okay, especially if you've got bigger ratios than this, is because it's really easy to see how much each person gets. So this person gets 2 lots. This person gets £30 and 72 pence. This person gets 15.36. Okay, we've done that. Then, if we want to give you to the nearest 10p, I'm going to write down 2 nearest 10p. So I'm just telling them each time what I'm doing. Okay, so £30 and 72. Again, nearest 10p is this bit by here. Okay, so I'm going to draw my line in there. That's 2, so I'm just going to chop it off. Nearest 10p is £30 and 70 pence. Okay, and that's my largest share. That's it. Okay, loads of writing on that one, but again, I'm writing lots of the stuff down that it's just giving me in the question. I'm just telling them each time what I'm doing. Okay, underneath now, a bit of factorising. Okay, you won't need a calculator probably on this one. This is kind of a topic you just need to learn. Factorising and expanding brackets, I think, is an easy topic, worth learning as it comes up in class. So, I think of it like a bus stop. So, underneath my bus stop is going to be the question, 7AB plus 11A. And then I look underneath my bus stop and I think, what can I take out the front in order to divide by? Okay, there's a number 7 and number 11. Now, both of those numbers are prime, so I can't take them out. There's not a B in this side, but there's a B there, so I can't take that out. But I can take an A out. Now, if you're taking an A out the front, what that means is when you divide by A in the question, it disappears. So 7 divided by 8, I can't do that because they're different, so I'm just going to write the number 7. A divided by A, that A goes, leaving me with nothing. B divided by A, can't do that, so I'm going to write it up top. Plus goes in the middle. 11 divided by A, can't do it. A divided by A, that A cancels, leaving me with that. Now my answer, because we're factorising, what that means is you're putting it back in a bracket. So A is going to come on the outside, and on the inside of my bracket I'm going to have whatever was on top. So 7B plus 11. Different ways of doing everything, guys. If you've got your own method, stick to it. I only use this way because I think it's the easiest. Underneath factorising again, x squared take away 8x. Again, no number on both sides, so I can't take a number. There is a letter though, so I can take an x at the front. Now, again, what we said earlier, x squared divided by x, one of the x's will cancel out, leaving me with an x up top. Minus goes in the middle, 8 divided by x won't work, so I'm going to write 8 up top. X divided by x, this x cancels out. So my answer is x on the outside, x take away 8 on the inside. Okay, super straightforward. Expanding brackets is actually the easiest question, okay? 4y times 2, so we're doing 4y times 2 is 8y. With the expanding brackets, whatever's by there is just going to go in the middle. 4y times 3y, 4 times 3 is 12, y times y is y squared. So 8y take away y squared. Very straightforward question, okay? That's 4 marks, really easy. Okay, that's 5%. Okay, all these little questions are ones worth learning, okay? And we're only 6 questions in, and I think we should have got the bulk of what we had so far. Now this question, this is an easy coordinates question. It just looks awful, okay? So the diagram shows 2 congruent triangles. Now the important bit of this question, congruent means the same. So that means these are identical, these 2 triangles by here. Now the coordinates of each vertex are shown. Vertex just means the corner of the shape. Find the value of A and B. So I'm going to start with A. Now, what it means is if these triangles are identical, that means the relationship between this bottom left-hand x value and this 2 is the same as this 3 and this 11. So what I'm saying is, in order to get from here to there, it must be the same distance as getting from here to there. So if we're looking at the x values, 11 to 3, to get from 11 to 3 from one side of the shape to the other, the width of the shape must be those two values taken away. So if I do 11 take away 3, that gives me 8. What that means is, to get from there to there is 8, and that would mean it's the same by here as well. So if we want to know the coordinate of A, if we want to know the coordinate of A, I've got to start at 2, and I've got to take away 8. 2 take away 8 is minus 6, so A is minus 6. Okay, we can do that already. Write that one in. Next one. If I'm just looking at the y values now, so if I look at you can look at any one you want to. So I'm looking at B and minus 8, these two by here, and look at positive 2 up here and positive 5. You can see now that to get from 2 to 5, you've got to go up 3. Okay, to get from 2 to 5, you've got to go up 3. It would be the same thing here. To get from minus 8 to B, you've got to go up 3. So I'm going to go from minus 8 to B. I start on minus 8. Remember, your minus button is over here. Minus 8. And I'm getting to B. I'm going to add on 3. I get minus 5. So my answer for B is minus 5. A very easy question, but it looks horrible. Okay, so I get it if you find it difficult. Over here, enlargement, okay. Now, enlargement, all those kind of questions, okay, is so straightforward, okay, make sure you get them right. So draw an enlargement of the rectangle below using a scale factor of 3 and centre 1 across and 2 up. So, my centre, my important bit's here. Scale factor of 3 is my important bit, and the centre 1, 2. Okay, so 1 across, 2 up is here. Okay, that's going to be my centre, and I need to enlarge a shape by a scale factor of 3. What that means is, it's got to be 3 times as big and 3 times as far away from this point. Now, the way I do it, I like counting squares. Lots of people do it with a pencil and a ruler. My personal preference is to count squares, okay? So if you've got your own way of doing this, that's fine, even if you want to just check your answer using my method. So, bottom left-hand corner. If I want to get here from there, I've got to go across 1 and up 1. Now, if that's going to be times by 3, that distance is going to be go up by 3, I've got to go across 3 now and up 3. So to get from here to there, I go across 1 and up 1. Now I'm going to go across 3 and up 3 and mark a point. Okay, that's bottom left hand corner of my shape. Bottom right hand corner, I've got to go across 2 and up 1. Okay, so if I've got to go across 2 and up 1, and I've got to times that distance by 3, now I've got to go across 6 and up 3. There's the bottom right hand corner. You can see now the shape is starting to build up here. Top left, I've got to go up 3 and across 1. Okay, so instead of going up 3 and across 1, I've got to go up 9 now and across 3. So instead of going up 3 across 1, I'm going to go up 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 3. Up there. You can see the shape starting to build. Still do the same method for your last corner. This one by here, I've got to go up 3 and across 2. Instead of that, I'm going to go up 9 and across 6. And once you're there, use a pencil and ruler. Don't do it the way I do it. Use a pencil and ruler and just draw your shape in. Okay, your shape will be much prettier than mine is. Okay, easy marks. Okay, you shouldn't drop any. That's 3 marks just for doing that. Okay, question 8. Again, another easy question. So Alison and Safraz play a game. They each have a different bag of cards. Alison has the following cards in her bag, Carnarvon, and Safraz has the following cards in his bag, ABBA. Okay, they each pick a card at random for their own bag, make an old letter and put the card back in the bag. They do this 100 times. Who do you think is likely to choose the letter R more often? So for both people, I've got to do a probability, okay? So Alison's the first one, and Safraz will be the second one. So Alison, to pick a letter R, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters. It's going to be out of 10. And the letter R comes up twice. So it's 2 out of 10. For Safraz, the letter R comes up once, and there's 4 letters. Now, I'm picking 100 times, so I've got to do 2 tenths out of 100 and 1 quarter out of 100. Now, we know from earlier on in the exam, 2 out of 10, of means times. 2 tenths of 100. Do it on your calculator. Okay, the fraction button over there. Is 20. and then a quarter of 100, same thing on your calculator. Is 25. Okay, I know most of you can do that in your head, but please use a calculator, only because it'll just make your life loads easier if you make a stupid mistake. Now looking at this, the person who's going to pick it the most is Safraz, so you tick that box and you'd write down Y at the bottom. Okay. Question 9. Okay, we've got a little bit of there's lots of these nice topics just started in, okay, like factorising, expanding brackets. Nail your algebra, and that's such a big chunk of your paper, okay? Question 9. Write down the nth term of the following sequence. Now, the way I think of nth term, okay, there's always, every single time, a number that comes in front of your n, and a number comes after your n. Now, the number comes after your n is the number that goes by there, and the number comes before your n is whatever the jumps are. Now, that's going up in 3, 3, 3. So it's going to be 3n, and then whatever comes on the end is whatever comes before your first number. If it's going up in 3s, that number by there, because that's 8, if you go down in 3, it's going to be 5. So it's 3n plus 5. So your answer is 3n and a plus 5 on the end. That's the nth term, okay? It's not carrying the sequence on. These dots are there to confuse you and tell you the sequence is carrying on. Make t the subject of the formula. Now, the way we do that, you follow your same solving equation steps, but you won't get an answer. So our first step, okay, we always write out the question again. R equals 3t take away 8. Then, I've got to get t on its own, I've got to move everything over the other side. So I've got to add 8 to both sides first. Now this left-hand side, if I've got r plus 8, I can't put those together, so I just write down r plus 8 equals 3t minus 8 plus 8 makes nothing. Then, I've got to get t on its own, so I divide by 3. Now, the way you divide by 3 in maths, when you've got two letters, okay, when you've got a letter and you can't do anything to it, you end up with r plus 8, and the whole thing divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 leaves you with 1, so I'm just left with 1t. And in maths, okay, you can leave your answer like that if you want to, but they like it when the letter, the subject, is on the left. So t equals r plus 8 all over 3. That's your answer. Okay. A rectangle has a length of x plus 5 centimeters, a width of 2x take away 3 centimeters, and its perimeter is 46 centimeters. So, I know perimeter is adding all the sides up. They're talking about a shape, so I'm going to draw it. Okay, I've got 2x take away 3, x plus 5. Okay, because we're talking about perimeter, we need every side drawn. Now from there, okay, the perimeter is 46, so I know all of those added together is going to give me 46. Now if I add them up, if I add my x values first, I've got x, 2x, 1x, and 2x. X plus x is 2x, plus 2x plus 2x gives me 6x. And then minus 3 plus 5 is positive 4. Okay, take your time, do all those addings up on your calculator, okay? 6x plus 4 is 46. I'm going to solve this, so take away 4 from both sides. 6x, that leaves me with nothing. 46 take away 4 is 42. And then divide by 6. End it with x equals 7. And the whole question was just asking for x, so we job done there. 4 marks. Okay, it's forming your own equations. Okay, it's actually quite an easy question. Just always draw a picture. Okay, so on to question 10 now. We're on paper 2, so we're going to be coming on to the nice topics that you can learn quite easily, like your Pythagoras, your trial and improvement, and your trigonometry. Okay, so is it possible to draw a right angle triangle with the measurement shown below? So because they're talking about a right angle triangle, and they put it in bold, they're talking about Pythagoras' theorem. Because I got 3 sides. Okay, not mentioning angles at all. You must show you're working. Okay, so Pythagoras' theorem is A, B, C. Okay, you can look for any side you want to, but I know A squared plus B squared equals C squared for it to work. Okay, that is the only way it can be a right angle triangle. I know my A value is 22.7. My B value is 12.8. And my C value is 25.6. Okay, once I'm there, I just put it in my calculator. 22.7 squared gives me 515.29. 12.8 squared gives me 163.84. And 25.6 squared gives me 655.36. Okay, so I've done all that now. If I add my two ones on the left up, 515.29 plus 163.84, that gives me 679.13. Okay. Okay, looking at those now, they're not equal. So you've got to write down, because they're not equal, Pythagoras theorem doesn't work. You can either write therefore, it cannot be. It cannot be drawn. Okay, so you've proved it with your numbery bits by there. Question 11. Now these don't come up very often. Okay, there's a couple of things you need to know with these. Okay, these are just drawing regions on Venn diagrams. A couple of things you need to know. Really, they're only going to ask you the basic ones. The one they've drawn on this one. So this little bit by here is called the intersect. Okay, now the intersect notation in Venn diagram notation is an N shape like that. So the way they'd ask you for that, they'd write the letter A, because I've got a shape A there, the letter B, and the intersect between them. That's how they'd write that for you. So they want to know the A and B, where they intersect. That's this bit by here. They give you that one by here. What is it by there? They give you that one. So that's a basic one. That's a really straightforward one. The bit they're asking you on the bottom, what they're really testing you is, do you know what these dash bit means? So like A dash, B dash. They're testing you what they mean. The dash above a letter, all that means is you don't want that bit. So if you get like an A dash, it means you don't want anything in the A circle. But when they're saying that, what they're implying is you want everything else. So this one down by here, this one by here, we've got everything shaded except what's in the B circle. So we want B dash because we want everything except what's in the B circle. So we want B dash. Okay? You could learn these if you want to. Again, it's only worth 2 marks, so don't stress yourself out if you don't understand them quite yet. Easy questions, okay? So these are the kind of questions you want to be picking up marks on. Okay? Easy averages. So, look at the following set of numbers. The range is increased by 2, the mean remains the same, and the median is decreased by 1. So the range is biggest take away smallest. I always do this, okay, on every question. Okay, just to give yourself a little bit of a chance. Okay, write down what they mean. Mean, add and divide, and median, middle. Okay, I always do that at the start of every question. So, look at the set of 4 numbers. What I'm going to do, I've got these 4 numbers. I'm going to work out the range. So my first set, I'm going to work out the range. I know range is biggest take away smallest, so that's 13 take away 5, gives me 8. I'm going to work out my mean. Is them added all up and divided by whatever you've got. So I could do it on my calculator. Okay, I've got 5 plus 8 plus 10 plus 13 gives me 36. There's 4 numbers, so 36 divided by 4 gives me 9. And my last one is median. Okay, you haven't got a middle number, but what we have got is 2 numbers where there's a gap. Okay, if you've got 2 numbers and there's no middle one, you write down whatever's in between them. I've got 8 and 10, so my median's got to be 9 as well. Now my second set of numbers. Okay, they say the range is increased by 2. So my new range, if it goes up by 2 from 8, it's got to be 10. My mean is the same, so it's still going to be 9. My median is still gone down by 1. Gone down by 1, so it's going to be 8. Now, so we're going to have 4 numbers. Okay, we have to have 4 numbers. You need to just guess what these 4 numbers are and make sure all 3 of these apply to the 4 numbers you guess. Okay, so there's 4 numbers. I know my range is 10. So if I pick a smallest number, I'm going to pick the number 5. Here's my smallest number. If 5 is my smallest number, my biggest number has to be 15 because my new range is 10. So we've already worked that already sorted. So that one's done. The range is 10. Next, my mean is 9. What that means is they have to add to make 36, exactly the same as they did in the first question, okay? They have to add to make 36. So in order for them to make 36, I've got two numbers left, so I take away 15, take away 5, 16. So I've got 16 to work with, okay? So in this middle bit by here, I've got 16 to work with. Now, because there's two numbers and there's not a direct middle one, that I can make a median of 8, I've got to basically use numbers either side of 8. So if we think of the number 8, numbers either side of 8, I could use 9 and 7. Do 7, 9 add to make 16? Yeah, they do. So this works perfectly. So range of 10, mean of 9, and median of 8. So we can pop those numbers straight in. Okay, I was lucky that I guessed first time and it worked perfectly. Sometimes you just got to keep trying numbers. And there are different ways to make this work. Okay, so that's not the only answer. Question 13. Okay, a company has 3 sites based in Wales. Carno, Holyhead and Porth. Okay, the pie chart showed the distribution between 128 female staff and 72 male staff. 200 people altogether. What's the probability that they work in the Porth site? Okay, so I need to work out how many females work in Porth here, how many males work in Porth here, add them up, and it's all going to be over 200 because I've got 200 members of staff. So that's a quarter of my pie. So I want to do a quarter of the 128 female staff. We know of means times quarter, calculate the fraction button again. Gives me 32 people. So 32 females work at the Porth side. Next one. Over here now. It is a fraction of 72 men. Okay, but the fraction you have to kind of work out for yourself. Okay, it's 120 degrees out of a possible. It's a circle. So think of degrees in a circle. 120 degrees out of 360. Of 72 means times. So 120, 360 times by 72. Okay, you can have these difficult numbers on questions like this because you've got a calculator. Okay, so fraction button again. 120, 360. Of means times 72. That gives me 24 people. 24 men. So altogether, I got 32 plus 24 all over 200 gives me 56 over 200. If you put that in your calculator, though, we'll simplify it. Gives me 7 over 25. That's your probability. That's question done. Okay, we're on question 13 and it's given us easy probability questions. So this is a really nice paper. This is lovely, this question, okay? It's a shame it's only a question like this because trigonometry is such an easy topic to learn. This is a very basic one though. They want to know the angle of QPR. You know it's trigonometry because you've got sides and we're talking about angles and it's a right angle triangle. QPR is the angle up here, so they want to know this. Okay, they want to know that angle. So this one down here, we follow the same steps every time with trigonometry, okay? It's not a difficult topic because it's so repetitive. So all you've got to do is learn how to do it the same way I am and just go over the steps over and over again. So this side down by here is your opposite side. This side by here is hypotenuse because it's the longest one. And whatever side is left is your adjacent. Once I've done that, okay, I write down SOHCAHTOA. The reason I write that down is because I want to know if I'm using tan, cos or sin. Okay? I know on my diagram the adjacent one's been crossed out, so I can cross that out as well. I can cross that out over here also. Because TOA is missing an A, CA is missing an A, I need to use sin. So this is the one I'm going to be using. Once I've done that, okay, I've decided that's going to be the triangle I'm going to use. I draw that in up here, down by here. So my sin triangle, exactly the same way I drew it up there, so once you're here, you fill your bits in. There's going to be a dividing line by here, times by here, and sin of the angle by there. So once I'm there now, this is exactly the same as you would on speed, distance, and time. Okay, use the triangle the same way, same as you would in science. Okay, I'm looking for the angle, which is this bit down by here. So I'm looking for that bit. Okay, if I want to find out something in trigonometry, I've got to cover it. If I cover that, my working out is whatever's left. So sin is what I'm trying to find out. My working out is O divided line H over H. Okay, once I'm there, I'm going to substitute the numbers in that I know. I don't know what the angle is yet, but I know O
is 9.6. And hypotenuse is 16.7. Okay, once I'm there, with your angles on trigonometry, okay, you've got to use sin to the minus 1. Okay, so this sin is going to come over the equal sign. Theta equals sin to the minus 1, 9.6, all over 16.7. Okay, that is a step you kind of need to remember with trigonometry. And once you're there, press shift. So if you want to find sin to the minus 1, you've got to press shift up here, press your sin button, which is by there, sin to the minus 1, 9.6 divided by 16.7. Gives me an answer 35.0891, whatever. I would say always go to one decimal place. Okay, so that's going to be 35.1 degrees. Okay, very straightforward question. These steps repeat themselves. Okay, so if I was looking for the opposite or the hypotenuse, it would just repeat themselves. You just use the triangle slightly differently. Okay, easy question. 15. Now this is, it's not that difficult a question, but it's a lot of information, and I'd say probably on this paper is probably the most difficult one. So the Morgan family and the Smith family are on holiday in Aberystwyth. There are 7 adults. Okay, as stuff happens, okay, if you've got such a wordy question, as stuff happens, just write it down sentence by sentence. So there are 7 adults and 2 children in the Morgan family. Okay, they got 7 adults and they got 2 children. Okay, there are 4 adults and 3 children in the Smith family. 4 adults, 3 children, Smith family. Both families go to a craft centre. The entry price to pay for a craft centre is X for adults and Y for children. Okay, form 2 equations in terms of X and Y. Okay, so I got to use these. I know A is the same as X and C is the same as Y. So I'm going to use these now. I've got 7X plus 2Y, 4X plus 3Y. Okay, the Morgan family, which is the top one, it cost them, I'm going to leave the units out for the time being, £41.50. The Smith family was £29.75. So what you've got now, you won't learn them very often if you're an intermediate, but you've got simultaneous equations, okay? Now, simultaneous equations are easy. You've got a calculator, okay? So you can't really get these wrong, okay? So you've got to make sure you're going to use these equations, you're going to do column subtraction or column addition, and you're going to find out what one of these letters is. Once you've done that, you find the other one, okay? We're going to, in order to find out one of these letters, okay, we've got to make either the numbers in front of the y's the same, or the numbers in front of the x's the same. Personally, I always go for the y's because it'll make nice, easy, straightforward column subtraction. Okay, so in order to make the numbers in front of the y's the same, I've got a 2 and a 3. Think of the 2 times table and the 3 times table. Where do they meet? They meet at 6. So I'm going to take equation 1 and equation 2. I'm going to do all of equation 1, I'm going to times that by 3. And all of equation 1, I'm going to times that by 2. What that'll do is it'll make the numbers in front of the y's the same. Now you've got a calculator. So 7 times 3 is 21x. Do that on your calculator. 2 times 3 is 6y. The reason you do these on your calculator is because you won't get them wrong. Okay, if you make any mistakes here, you won't get a nice answer. £41.50 times 3 is £124.50. Okay, so that's my new equation 1. Next one, okay, all of these times 2. 4x times 2 is 8x. 3y times 2 is 6y. 29.75 times 2 is £59.50. Now, I'm going to call out my new equation 2. If I want to work out what x is, if I do column subtraction, so I take everything away vertically, so 21x take away 8x, 6y take away 6y, and these two take away each other, you'll end up cancelling out the y's, and that's what we're trying to do. Okay, because if you've got 2 letters going on, you can't work out the missing one. 21x take away 8x is 13x. 6y take away 6y is nothing. 124.50 take away 59.50 gives me 65. Now we solve an equation, so we divide by 13. I get an x value of £5. So x was A, remember? X was A. So for an adult, it costs £5 entry. Okay, so we've gone back to the beginning and worked that out. Next, I need to take this £5 and I need to put it back into one of my equations for the families so I can work out how much a child ticket cost. So I'm going to pick the top one. You could have picked either one. I'm going to pick the top one. So 7x, so 7 times £5, plus 2y, 2 kids, is £41.50. Okay, that's right from the start, we've taken that from. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2y is £41.50. Take away 35 from both sides. I end up with 2y equals £6.50. And then divide by 2. Remember, you've got a calculator, so you don't have to be clever and do this in your head. £6.50 divided by 2 gives me an answer of £3.25. Remember, X was your adult one, and Y was your kids one, so it's £3.25. Okay, quite a big question, but that's it. That's all you've got to do. Okay, so if you're good at simultaneous equations, the difficult bit of that is just forming them at the top. Once you get that done, it's quite an easy question. Okay, last 2 pages, okay, and then we're done. Lush topic, okay, so remember, an intermediate, okay, don't give up. If you're on question 9 and you're finding it difficult, don't give up. Okay, this is trial and improvement. Now, trial and improvement's an easy topic, such an easy topic, okay. It is essentially one of those, though, that you've got to go through and just learn and learn and learn and keep doing, like trigonometry, until you get it right, okay, until you get it nailed, okay, but it's so repetitive, it's exactly the same thing every time. So what we do, I set out a table like this, okay, on my left-hand side over here, not yours would be much nicer than mine, I don't know why I can't draw straight lines. These are your x values that you're going to try. The middle bit is your 2x cubed plus x, take away 10, equals 0, and then this bit is higher or lower. So we're going to try numbers over here, we're going to put them into this, we're trying to aim for 0, that's what this equals 0 bit means. So if they're lower than 0, we're going to write too low, if they're higher than 0, we're going to write too high, until we get an answer that's close to where we're aiming for. Now they've told us it's between 1 and 2, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute that in first. So 2 times 1 cubed plus 1, take away 10. All in your calculator, okay? So there's no real thinking to do on this question. We're just aiming for 0. 2 times 1 cubed plus 1, take away 10. Now do that twice, okay? Make sure you don't make a mistake on this. Do that twice through, just to make sure you've done it right. I got -7. That is obviously too low. Okay? Next one I'm going to try. They said 1 and 2, so I'm going to try 2 next. So if I press backspace on my calculator, I don't actually have to write the whole thing out again. So I can go 2. So 2 times 2 cubed plus 2, take away 10, is all equal to 8. So that's too high. Now my next, I don't think this is going to give us many it's going to take us many goes to get it right, okay? So my next one, I do whatever 2 numbers they give you, and then you go halfway between. So my next one is going to be 1.5. 2 times 1.5 cubed plus 1.5, take away 10. So you can see all I'm doing is replacing the number they give us with the x value in the question. So 2 times 1.5 cubed plus 1.5, take away 10. That's really close, okay, so minus 1.75, so that's too low. I'm going up now, so I'm going to go 1.6. 2 times 1.6. So remember, write down all your workings, okay, because it's a big mark question and it's really easy, so write down every single bit of working you do. Plus 1.6, take away 10. Okay, that's still too low, minus 0.2, but I think that's going to be close to the answer, okay? So that's still too low, but I think that's going to be close. I'm going to do 1.7 next, because I need to wedge it between 2 numbers. So 2 times 1.7 plus 1.7, take away 10. Okay, that's too high, 1.526. That's too high. It's quite obvious now this is going to be the closest one, but you've still got to prove it, okay? So my next one, I'm going to do 1.65, because I know it's between 1.6 and 1.7. 2 times 1.65 cubed plus 1.65, take away 10. That's 0.63. That's too high. Because that's too high, 1.65 is too big. We only want it to one decimal place. So this is too big. It can't be 1.7 because that's above 1.65. So this is too big. So my answer has got to be 1.6. Okay? Last two questions of the entire paper, okay? Very straightforward, very easy ones. When a number is reduced by 15%, the answer is 6154. What was the original number? Now, this is a common sense question. Okay, when a number is reduced by 15%, you always start with 100%. So any question, any percentage, you always start with 100%. So if I take away 15%, I get 85%. So what they're telling us is if I reduce it, I start with 100%. That's what I want to find is 100% of my amount. If I reduce it by 15%, I get 6154. So 85% of my original number is 6154. Now, if I want to get back to 100%, I've got to scale this down and then scale it back up again. Okay, if I want to get from 85, the easiest percentage, if I want to get to 100%, is to take it down to 1%. So if 85% is that, and I want to find 1%, I've got to divide both sides by 85. 61, remember you've got a calculator, 6154 divided by 85 gives me 72.4. 72.4 is 1%. And then if I want to take it back up to 100% now, I've got to take my 1% and times by 100. So I'm going to times that by 100. I get 7240, and that's 100% of my amount. So back to normal again. Very last question. Okay, ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. That means it's a quadrilateral, four-sided shape where all four sides touch the edge of the circle. Okay, in a circle with center O. That's that bit by there. So ABC is 126. Write down each of these angles X and Y. You must give reason for each of your answers. So angle X first. Angle X, the relationship between angle X and this one by here, those two, because they're in a cyclic quadrilateral and they're touching the edge, opposite angles, I'm going to write down the reason before I even work it out. Opposite angles in a cyclic quadrilateral equal 180 degrees. Okay, so if I want to work that out on my calculator, remember you've got a calculator, so it's quite a nice question. 180 take away 126, that means angle X is 54. Okay, half the question done. Second half, 4 marks, is quite a nice question. Second half, the relationship between angle Y and X. Angle Y, you can see it's much bigger than X. So angle Y, angles at the center are double angles at the edge of a circle. Okay, so angles at the center are double angles at the edge. I know the angle at the edge is 54, so that means this one has got to be double it. 54 times 2 on your calculator gives you 108. Right guys, that's job done. So if you want higher tier, okay, that'll be the first half of your paper done. It's quite a nice paper, I think. Much easier than the other paper one, I imagine. Again, guys, if you've done this and you found it useful, please follow my YouTube channel. Subscribe to it because there'll be more walkthroughs like this going up. Please follow my Instagram and subscribe and have a go at the question of the day every single day. Okay, now this wasn't a difficult paper. Your key topics to learn. Okay, you want to be learning your trigonometry, you want to be learning your trial and improvement, you want to be learning the ones that take up the most marks. Okay, so trial and improvement, trigonometry, Pythagoras, circle theorems is a good one. Okay, learn those and I promise you'll do okay.